Film Pigeon, and I'm your host, Michael Lozano. Today on Film Pigeon, we'll be talking about frame rates. Yeah, I said frame rate. Frame rate basically means the amount of frames you have in measurements to seconds, which is in time. And now, the concept of frame rate is actually from the fact that you know that motion picture emerges from photography. So a frame basically means that you having a frame, a picture frame. That's more or less like a click from your shutter. When you say pra, you get one frame. So one frame is what we count in numbers that makes up what you have as motion picture. Now the frame rate is the amount of frames you have per seconds. So in measurement scale is measured as frame per seconds. That means frames per second. Now, for normal motion picture or film, the standard frame rate is believed to be 24 frames per second. The 24 frames per second is more or less like an approximate value of 23.969 frames per second. Now approximated into 24 frames per second. When you shoot 24 frames per second, that is believed to be the actual normal or perceived human motion you see day to day when you look at human motion. That, for instance, you see me with your eyeballs, whatever you see I'm doing in normal motion, like I'm not too slow, I'm not too fast. That means the standard 24 frames per second for film. So in relation to this, what I want you to remember is the fact that frame rate determines the speed at which you see the action in your film or in your motion picture. So that means that, for instance, you want to take note of this: the higher the number of the frames, the slower the motion, and vice versa, which is the lower the number of your frames, the faster the motion. So in places where you want to shoot slow motion, for instance, right from your camera, you might be looking at doing like a 60 frames, a 50 frames, a 90 frame, a 120 frame. That means you're doing slow motion. And if you're doing anything like around 10 to 12 frames, 15 frames, 8 frames, that means you're doing fast motion. But you might want to ask yourself that, of what use is this? I would bet you on this, that once you're able to get a camera that could give you slow motion outrightly from the camera without you having to do the slow-mo in post, you might like the outcome of the slow-mo from the camera rather than that of the post. So this is the reason why you see most high-end cameras are so expensive, because of the frame rate they could achieve, because of the frame rate they can achieve, and that makes them one of the best gadgets you probably want to buy. So frame rate basically just means that, in normal terms, means that once you arrange one frame, 2 frames, 3 frames, up to 24, and you look through them in 1 second, the normal time it takes you to see through those 24 frames in 1 second is the actual time it takes for the video or film camera to record those 24 frames in 1 second. I don't know, is this sounding too technical?
Yeah.
I think it's too technical.
Yeah.
Now, let's break it down. The frame rate just simply means that one frame in photography, when you do the pra sound, that's when you click the shutter, one frame in photography that you have, 24 of that frame runs through in 1 second.
Oh, no.
But believe me, that's not something you want to calculate with your brain. It's just too fast. So 24 of that runs through in 1 second, and that gives you the perceived motion you see that becomes motion picture. You got that?
Yes.
Yeah, correct. So let's carry on. So secondly, the thing you want to note is the frame rate now means that 24 frames gives you normal motion per second. Now, if you increase that number to like 60 frames, it means that if you're going to look through the 60 frames from right to left, it's going to take more time before you look through from the frame 1 to frame 60. That means you would be seeing it in more or less a slow or delayed motion. Now, if you arrange another set of frames 1 to 10, and you're to view from 1 to 10, the time at which it will take you to see 1 to 10 would certainly be less than the time it takes you to see 1 to 60. So that means 1 to 10, you probably see 1 to 10 frames faster than you see 1 to 60. So that basically explains the reason why 1 to 10 is fast motion, and 60 frames would probably be slow motion. Now, 24 frames is standard for film. Different broadcast systems have their own different standards as well, and we'll be talking about that in another topic entirely. So stay tuned to us on Film Pigeon. Well, you could also go to our Facebook page, get to our blog, All address are being shown on your screen. You can follow us on YouTube as well. Follow us on our Twitter handle and get all of updates as regards filmmaking and basics that you need to know so that you don't just start pointing your camera and guess what you're doing. You're recording nonsense. So be sure you know those basics so that you can record the right thing. All right, I'll catch you guys next time on Free Pigeon. Stay tuned. I'm still right here.